Hello, guys. Welcome to the personal branding workshop. Today, we'll be going over what personal branding actually means. What can we do? What can a person or even a student do to build their personal brand and how they can benefit off of it? So, in this 1 hour of the workshop, we'll be going through tools that can be used to make your personal brand, strategies, and the mindset needed, the creator mindset needed in order to successfully run a personal brand, and why, what, how, and where should we be building our personal brands, and how can we grow and scale it and use it for our benefit, and even start earning through the personal brands. So first of all, the very first section tells us to learn and understand what personal branding to the core and fundamentally means. So, personal branding is basically when a person tries to establish himself as a person of recognition through, uh, uh, um, yeah, when a person tries to establish himself or his importance in a society or in a business, that the person himself is a brand. Like, for example, CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo. So, when we talk about him, the first word we get into our minds is probably a footballer. But the third or the fourth thing that would come, or people with business mindsets or marketing mindsets would think that Cristiano Ronaldo himself is not just a person or a professional or a footballer, but he himself is a personal brand. Why? Because he has an online presence and a face-to-face presence as well. Because people know him by his name, and and he uses his brand for like uh, building cash flow. For example, if you talk about Cristiano Ronaldo's Instagram. So he's literally the most followed individual on Instagram, and that makes him around 2.8 million per post. If he if someone approaches him to sponsor, so he's basically himself a brand, and that's what we call a personal brand, where an individual displays his skills, values, or unique qualities to the audience. And this the personal brand usually occurs over social media or the internet. Why personal branding is so important? First of all, if you are a person who wants to you know establish an audience, so that's something pretty simple. But if let's talk about myself, if I want to grow a business, so the first thing right now that would come into my mind would be that, chalo, even if I establish a business, how would I grow it? How would I get sales? And then comes the concept of having an audience who you can actually sell to, your customers. So, what having initially, before even starting a business, having a personal brand offers you is literally like an abundance of audience and an abundance of customers waiting for you to sell something to them. So, you don't even need to search outside and spend that much on marketing. You already have your followers and your subscribers or your fans waiting to purchase that specific product from you. So that's where the key and the fundamentals of personal branding come into play, and they help oneself generate cash flow out of mere followers on a social media platform. For example, we can say that most of the freelancers even make their personal brands on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Instagram, all in all to order to get more clients for themselves. And they display their work on these social media platforms, and that attracts audience to their profiles. They gain more followers, and then they probably, when they've been successful enough, they even start building courses in order to help those followers and their audience on the social media platform they have a personal brand on. And that all that does is generate cash flow for them, and that's why it's very essential for oneself to have a personal brand and adopt a creator mindset. So some examples, one of which I already gave you, of personal brands and successful ones even, is first of all Elon Musk, the child prodigy who, at the age of 12, made an application which he sold for around $500. Then he went on to learn more about physics, astronomy, rockets, and built SpaceX. And he's the first one to have built a booster rocket that's, whose boosters land back on space, on Earth, and we can reuse them even. And how Elon Musk built his personal brand personally was in his actual life. He accomplished stuff, he built his personality, and then he went on to build himself, his voice, on actively on social media platforms where he used to on Twitter, for example, he used to do tweets and he built a voice that was unique to him and his traits and qualities and skills. And so people started to get to know him better. Uh, you guys might have heard of the Rothschild family. So, what's the difference between people like millionaires and billionaires like the Rothschild and and opposed to the Elon Musk and, let's say, Jeff Bezos, or even Apple CEO Steve Jobs, ex CEO? So the main difference is that the Rothschild family don't kind of have a personal brand, but what who does? Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and even Bill Gates, they have their personal brands, they have an social media presence, and they use it for their advantage. They use it to build an audience, in, grow their audience, and in order to, in while they're growing their audience, they create more cash flow and use it for developing and growing their businesses. And that's what Elon Musk did when he used to tweet on Twitter. He became a renowned person, not just because of his wealth, but also because of his actions on Twitter, on his tweets, and he used to express himself over there. Conversely, when we talk about Hamza Yusuf, he is a personal development guru on YouTube. He built his YouTube channel. He was a regular man, a regular kid in the US. He started his personal development journey and discovered that many teenagers don't uh, know what personal development, personal growth, and becoming the best version of yourself is. So he identified their audience, and that need for mentorship, and he built his YouTube channel, which now has over 1.5 million subscribers. By the way, an excellent uh, platform or an audience to generate cash flow for him. So over the years, he made YouTube content, and then he also moved to Instagram. He has a following on Instagram as well. How these people now, he specifically, Hamza specifically, is using these platforms is that he built a platform named School, where he hosts a community of people, and he basically sells his mentorship uh, services to students and to teenagers and even people in their 20s, early 20s, to act as a personal coach for him. And they buy his courses, they buy his mentorship, and they buy his coaching, and they build themselves and better their lives through it. So he didn't have a problem in selling his courses. Why? Because he initially had an audience himself on YouTube, millions and millions of people following you and just waiting for you to just put something up that is of value, obviously, but is also something that could generate cash flow for you. And that's how Elon Musk comes, even in Irfan and Ishan, exploited what we call a personal brand and used it for their benefit and generating cash flow for themselves. When we talk about Irfan Junejo, he's probably the most relatable because this guy made a YouTube channel. Similarly, he was passionate in photography, videography, cinematography. He displayed his work on his YouTube channel through vlogs and all, and then he built a rapid an audience, an audience, and then rapid with his audience, which made him stand out from the usual crowd, and which definitely also contributed to his professional and uh, overall growth. So he is now, even brands approach him easily because he already is a renowned person and he can charge more. Why? Because he has an audience, he has expertise in that field. He also uh, obviously when you are someone famous, so sponsors reach out to you, right? So similarly, for people and sponsors and brands and all kinds of them reach out to Irfan Janejo, and that only helps him generate cash flow and cash for himself, and he can use it to develop businesses. Like for example, currently he's building a what do we call it? A university admissions kind of a business, or like a mentoring services. And I can not recall exactly the name, but yeah, he's working with some these 3 to 4 people, and he is a shareholder in that, and that is really going good for him as well because he already has an audience. He When he would build a business, so what that would do is basically generate loads and loads of sales for him automatically. He wouldn't even need to, you know, pay anyone for the marketing. Why? Because he is a content creator himself. He has a personal brand on Instagram and YouTube. So all he would need to do is create content, and that he will do for free, and just sell off his product through that. When we talk about Ishan Sharma, he is an Indian guy who is just around probably in his early 20s. Yeah, definitely. And he is a millionaire by the age of like 23, 24. How he did this was he built a personal brand on YouTube. He learned graphic designing. He started making videos on how to use, how to freelance graphic designing skills, and then he now has like around 3 to 4, 5 million followers, subscribers on YouTube, couple 100,000 on Instagram, and probably around like two to 300,000 followers on LinkedIn as well. So all in all, he has around 6 million followers and fans over the world throughout the social media platforms, and he uses it to market his businesses. One of them being Centora, an AI application, and the second one being MarketUp, a social media marketing agency. So all he needs to do is just generate content, similarly as Irfan Janejo, and he doesn't even need to pay additional charges for marketing because he himself has such a large audience. So I hope until now you understand what basically personal branding is and how we can use it to primarily generate cash flow for ourselves. Now, something really important when you build a personal brand is to know what is unique within yourself, what what different how different and what is the difference between you and any other person who has a personal brand on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter or any other social media platform. So one way to do this is identify some of your strengths, skills, and passions. Like for example, if I talk about myself, some of my strengths include leadership, mathematics, and what can you say, analytical skills, right? So, and some three skills I have are public speaking skills, and I'm also proficient in data. I'm also proficient in data analysis. And then three of my passions include a love for poetry. I like to read. Uh, I also like to create content. Thirdly, what else? I'll have to think about it a bit. Again, I get you get the gist of it because when you recognize your strengths, skills, and passions, and that's what you can use to identify your unique value proposition, and you will combine all of these things together and make a different voice and a different brand and something that is out of the ordinary, something that is unique to you, a combination that might exist but is different from 95 or the 90% of what other personal brands are about. For example, if I like to read, so I also have a passion or a liking to write as well. So what I can do is build my personal brand around a teenager dedicated to personal brand and dedicated to learning more skills like coding, graphic designing, copywriting, sales, marketing. So what I would do is start a 30-day challenge on Instagram, start making reels about it, and in that journey, I will set some goals for myself, some Some of them would be non-negotiable daily goals, and some of them would be things that I would need to do on a daily basis. And then over the course of 30 days, I will be generating content, a reel every day for 30 days, and I'll be sharing my journey in this period, that what I am learning and what how am I getting clients and this and that. So what would happen eventually is that I would obtain a number of followers, and then if I keep consistent on what I'm doing, I'll have enough followers to start monetizing stuff for myself and generating income through that source. I hope it's clear up till now. Now comes identifying your niche and target audience. So when you have your skills, strengths, and passions in line, and you know what those are, it will relatively be easy to identify what your niche is. Basically, what a niche is that, like, it's a specific target market where you recognize what you're good at, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs, and you can use it to identify which area of the market as in being our what do we say, a filter. Sorry for the disturbance. So, a typical area of the market, for example, if I talk about a niche, so some example of niche would be personal development, dentists, dental, medical, or pharmaceutical, or tech, or it can be like any niche. I hope you get the point. And then when you once recognize your niche, what comes next is to recognize your target audience. Are you trying to target a specific type of people of having specific type of interests and challenges in their lives, and are they of a certain age? So all the demographics of your audience come into play, right? So for example, targeting a middle class youth through empowerment and skill building initiatives. So let's talk about Skill Hive a bit. The Skill Hive is a business that targets the mostly teenagers and people in their early 20s who are mostly students, uh, who are willing to and are interested in developing skills online and starting their journey in the freelancing industry, or even looking to build their own startups. So this defines my niche, which is e-learning and skills and personal development and growth, and my target audience as well, that the teenagers, what do we say, 13 to 25-year-old people who are interested in skill building and professional development. Now, once you've done that, it's important that you create a personal mission statement for yourself, probably for the current year or the next year, that would help you introduce yourself properly. For example, uh, you can use a template to and combine write an action beside it, buy a unique skill to help XYZ achieve WX goal. Like for example, to what do we say, to teach by example, to help teenagers achieve what, achieve 500,000 subscribers in 3 years. So that can be a personal mission statement, and this is something you keep to yourself, and with time, passively, you also tell it to your audience. Which and this by passively, I mean that it would reflect in your posts and reels and stories that this is your particular mission, or you could even put it in your bio if you're building a personal brand on Twitter or Instagram or even YouTube. Yeah, in the about section. And now comes section three, building your online presence. Let's get into it. So the importance of social media and personal branding is, like, the easiest way to build a personal brand is through social media, because around 4.9 billion people use it globally, and all of your audience, most of your audience, Spinny, all literally all of it is using Instagram, YouTube,
and even Twitter sometimes. So it really helps you out if you start building your personal brand on any of the social media platforms. Why? Because it's too difficult to build one when you're in a physical environment. Why? Because you cannot be at one place at the same at at two places at the same time. But through the help of social media, you can target international markets as well and build recognition in other countries abroad other than Pakistan, or if you're a native with USA, for example. So other than the US, so you can do that. And this would not be possible in a physical environment. And you can also use like optimize LinkedIn to help you build a personal brand, but that's not my expertise, so I won't be talking much about it. But some tips for building a good, or like optimizing your LinkedIn profile would be just going through the to do section, which guides you on how to optimize your profile on LinkedIn, and just check in every section, just fill out every section properly, and start regularly posting. That is really important. And LinkedIn is one of the best social media platforms if you want to get clients or you want to network with like-minded individuals uh, in a professional environment. So creating authentic Instagram personas. I don't know much about Twitter, so I'll talk about Instagram. The people nowadays are building their personal brands majorly on Instagram through posting regular reels and carousel posts. Carousel posts being the ones which are in the one by one ratio, and we can post around like more than one at the same time. The slideshow thingy that goes on. So those are called carousals. That is the type we call carousals. And what it does is basically posting regularly on Instagram. For example, we do the last two sections we talked about. So yeah, we identify our niche by we first of all we identify our strengths, passions, and skills. Then we identify our target audience and our niche, and then we build a personal brand on Instagram according to it. And we start creating content. We start creating reels. We start creating carousel posts in order to either educate or display our own selves in those reels or carousel posts. And what path um, proves best, or honestly, is if you educate through your Instagram personal brand, and you have to, you know, like for example, if you talk about Skill Hive, so it is a kind of like let's say Skill Hive is a personal brand. It's a person. It's me. I'm Skill Hive. It's just a name of a person. So I'm not Saifaan, I'm Skill Hive. What I did is identify my niche, my target audience, my skills, passions, and strengths. And I initially built a color scheme for myself. As you guys can see, our color scheme is blue, yellow, and shades of them. So you do that and you build a brand kit of your brand, and you only use those colors, those typical fonts, and those specific voice that is unique to you in order to portray yourself uh, as a person on social media who has a personal brand, and you start just educating people. Yeah, so next section covers content creation and storytelling, typically on Instagram. So one way to do this is to craft a personal narrative. What this means is you take all of the challenges and your past experiences that you have experienced since childhood, and you turn it into something that you can relate to your future as well. So if I overcame XYZ example in the past, this is my goal for the future. Like for example, I used to suck at debating, and I started going and attending MUNs, and I became one of the best uh, MUN debater in Karachi. And now my future goal would be to become the best in the country, or yeah, to become one of the best in the country. And that can be done if I attend now the MUNs that are the best in the country and win awards in them. That's how I will know that yes, I am one of the best in the country in Pakistan. Why? Because I've won the hardest and the most difficult and the most recognized MUN, which is in fact LUMS MUN, Lumen. And if I score an award in Lumen, that then I would know that yes, I am one of the best in the country because I won an award in one of the best competitions, MUN competitions. So you use this and you basically tell it like a story, but not through words, through visual content, which can be in the form of carousel posts and reels, as I mentioned before. And there are multiple ways of making content creation, which we will not be going through in this in this workshop. Now, some strategies you can use are also like you can connect multiple platforms, interconnect them in the same place. You can do that by building a website for yourself, start writing blogs over there, and at the same time have a YouTube channel where you do podcasts and also have an Instagram profile where you put out short form content because not every social media platform is fit for every type of content. If we talk about threads in Twitter, what first comes to our mind is text, is like sentences, words. We talk about Instagram. The first thing that comes to our mind is short form content in the form of reels and stories. But when we talk about YouTube, what comes into our mind like mostly is long form content, like 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 minute videos, right? And this is how we can use every platform, every social media platform to our advantage by you know either repurposing our content on different channels or by repurposing I mean that if I have a YouTube channel and I have posted a podcast on that YouTube channel on the topic of, for example, dopamine and its effect on your brain. So what I would do is also have an Instagram personal brand, and I would turn that 2 hour podcast into around like 7 to 8 shorts or Instagram reels, and I would post those reels on the course of a week. So every other day, just by using my past recorded YouTube video, I will have one reel to post each and every day. And that would only be beneficial for me. Why? Because it would redirect traffic to my long, like posted video in the past on YouTube and not just generate views on my reels, but also on my main video on YouTube that I posted initially. And then what else you can do is always share your stories and your successes and failures and the lessons you've learned throughout your journey and currently that you are still learning on your social media platforms through your personal brands. And you can easily do this by, for example, if we talk about a carousel post. So if I attended an MUN, if I have a personal brand around public speaking, so I attended this MUN and I absolutely, nail the MUN. I win the best delegate award. And now what I would do is make a reel about it, or either a carousel post. And the first slide or the hook, if it's a carousel post, so obviously the first slide of the carousel post has to be so attractive and appealing to the audience, to the person who is viewing it, that they are forced to spend more time on it and swipe, so that the chances of that carousel be going viral increase exponentially over time. And if it's a reel, so I have to use a hook in the video, the hook being the first 1 2 seconds of the video. I have to use a very catchy hook that can be identified as one of the viral hooks and has the most potential to make the video go viral. And I would uh, include in the reel how what what I did, what I did, and how I did it, and how you can do it, and also attach a call to action to that reel. For example, if I am trying to build a business around public speaking, mentoring, or coaching services, so what I would do in the end, that I would say, if you also want to win such MUNs and become the best delegates of one of the most difficult MUNs in Karachi or the country, this I have built what a 2 hour workshop, and I'm selling it for I'm selling it. So I'll just redirect you to my landing page or my website where you can literally just purchase the 2 hour workshop or the video or the course that I've built. And this is how even like people with 1,000 or 1,500 followers on Instagram can actually generate income. Because all you have to do in order to earn 100,000 rupees is what sell 10 products of that cost 10,000 rupees, or you can sell what 100 products that cost 1,000 rupees, and all comes down to the kind of marketing and selling skills you have. So I have already kind of discussed what story. Yeah, I've kind of discussed what storytelling is. So what you actually do is identify a problem, tell what your action is, and then what's going to be the result of it. And this is what people usually use when they're generating reels or shorts on YouTube, because this works really well with short form content. And example being the journey of leading an entrepreneurship society to inspire budding entrepreneurs and this and that, or um, from being like, for example, if we talk about myself, I was really afraid of speaking up and going on the stage talking to people. I had social anxiety, but then what I did was started attending MUNs, as I told you before, and started attending public speaking competitions. So I had a problem. I took action, and it resulted in me be not no longer being socially anxious, but a more confident individual and self-aware and more sound when it comes to public speaking. So my problem was that I couldn't socialize or I couldn't speak well in public. I started take attending public speaking competitions where I challenged myself and took action to overcome that fear, which resulted in the fear being totally, I would not say like khatam ho jana bilkul, because if you have a fear, you challenge it, you cannot 100% overcome it, because there are levels of that fear. For example, if I am afraid of going on the stage when there are 10 people seeing me and I overcome that fear, but the next time, what I have to do is go on a stage and there are 1,000 people in the audience looking at me, staring at me. So that would be another level of fear I would have, but I would still need to overcome that, right? So the fear altogether is not gone, but the ability of you to conquer lower levels of that fear has increased. So it's kind of a staircase where you just take small steps and it leads to you to becoming not perfect in any sense, but more adaptable, more accustomed to that fear, so that you can, it no longer affects you as it used to before. Now, we talk about networking and relationships when it comes to personal branding and why it is so important. So, in order to develop meaningful and professional relationships when you're building a personal brand on either Instagram, YouTube, or even Twitter, one of the most important tips is to engage. And by engage, I don't just mean to put out content, but also comment on other creators' posts on their reels, compliment them, reach out to other people to collaborate. And, when you've become well known, you should not be cocky, but be, really humble and down to earth, because positivity attracts positivity. If you're in all time always negative and this much and I'll like a really what do we say, an arrogant person, so you will be attracting a lot of people who are the same way. And honestly, you don't want to be doing that, because once the trust that you built over the past few years has been broken, trust me, it's really difficult to get back on track and build the same level of trust again, because you had an audience and you tarnished your reputation in front of them, and it will probably take double, if not, it will probably take the same amount of time if not more, than which you had previously invested in building your personal brand. So you should always be humble, positive, reach out to other people, collaborate with them, and just also network in um, physical events as well. Like for example, industry events, or join clubs in your college or university, or host workshops, and reach out to individuals who are like skill hive, and like put out workshops where you can meet people of having the same mindset of yourself, like yourself, and you can actually talk to those people, network with them, and seek out possible collaborations. Now we are going to talk about managing rapid reputation and feedback, which I discussed earlier. Yeah, so let's continue. So maintaining consistency and authenticity is really important, because you don't want to post one reel in a week and then come back another week where when everybody which watched your first reel has already forgotten about you, because on obviously, as we all know, everyone's attention span these days are totally burnt off, right? They People can't even watch a video for like 10 to 15 seconds. So how do you think they will remember your 30-second video with that what they saw around like 200 hours before? That's not like possible, right? So if you want to maintain growth, and you want to target, like you have a goal to, for example, have 100K followers on Instagram by the end of the year. What's the most important thing is consistency altogether, and also authenticity, because you don't want to be stealing someone's content or someone's reels and making it your own, and just facing backlash through it, because all it would do is tarnish your reputation again, and you don't want that, because it's going to be either you will be taking uh, either some kind of legal action could also be taken against you. So you have to be really careful about this as well, to generate original content, and not always original. You can definitely copy other people's content, but there's a difference between copying and like literally just cheating, right? Because when you copy content, what I mean by copying content is not just like take one reel and just post it all together. You just copy the idea of the reel, you craft the idea, you craft the reel, and you also add something of yourself, of your essence into it, so that it becomes unique and not something that you have just taken or stolen from the other content creator. Yeah, so handling criticism and online feedback, it can be really weird sometimes, getting hating comments, but you need to realize that there's always going to be haters. There's always going to be people who just sit on their couches and comment, because they not don't have anything else to do with their time. And when you have to be self-aware. Actually, you need to know that even if my content is shitty right now, if I keep consistent, if I keep doing what I'm doing daily and gradually, even if it bores the shit out of me, one day I will have, you know, I will be sufficient and be satisfied with the content I create. If I am not right now, and this guy or this girl who is like, commenting and bashing me in the comment section, does not have anything to do with how good I am right now or how good I can be. And just take it constructively always, and you always have uh, the option to report the comment if you feel so much offended. But honestly, if you ask me, haters comments or good comments, all of them generate what, it boosts the algorithm for you. So I don't think you should care that much about the feedback you are getting. But if someone is constructively criticizing you and points out some ways you can improve, or some ways that are lacking in your reels or your content, the content you post. So you should definitely take heed to it, and adapt and transform your content thoroughly according to that feedback. Now, one way you can also improve gradually and like consistently is that you regularly revisit your videos that you posted in the past. You yourself do self analysis of yourself in those videos and point out things you can improve, and you list them down. And after you've listed them down, you try again, make more reels again, and try to not repeat the same shortcomings or the same mistakes that you had in your previous video or your previous piece of content. Strategic growth and monetizing includes, as I elaborated previously, collaborating with others, invite influencers or other organizations to your brand. Either build something in a joint effort, or either build something together, or just make some piece of content together that you can use to co-market yourselves, which would you will be making use of their audience at the same time as yours as well. So double the audience you're targeting, basically. And how we can leverage personal branding for career growth is that if we take the example what of Ishan Sharma, for example. Ishan Sharma has a brand around personal development and freelancing and how to become a freelancer. Now he has um, built so much following that businesses and startups reach out to him. Why? Because he is a trendsetter. He is a person who has a very huge following, and obviously, when someone sees, even a brand sees a person being so largely followed, then there has to be something different and something good about him, and something that the brand can use. So, what your clients and your do, if you, for example, have a business, they reach out to you. And if you are freelancing on some skill, if I am a web developer, what the first thing I would do is obviously start learning web development. Then the next thing I would do is start building a personal brand for myself. If I am good at copywriting, so I would start learning copywriting. But at the same time, the same day, I will also build a Instagram account, probably with the username Saifaan Copyrights, and start posting challenges like a 30-day challenge. And I will make a reel every day to tell what I did today and what results I aim to get. And the first reel that I would use would be about telling what this challenge is about. The second reel would be about the first day of this challenge, and then the second, the third day, the fourth day, the tenth day, the 20th day, and the 30th day. I would be summarizing the entire journey, displaying what I have learned, and also displaying if I have gained any client. And what I would do next is make another uh, do another challenge, a 30 or 40 or 50-day challenge, where I try to earn $1,000 in 1 month, or in 2 months, or in 3 months. And I will just keep making reels of what I do every day, and the progress and the results I get in doing that every day in the same reel. So all that would do is I would be generating content at the same time. So I would be, hoping that a brand or a business or a customer sees that I have these certain skills and reaches out to me to write a sales page for them or their website for them when it comes to copywriting. So building credibility for your personal brand is that if you're selling something, the first thing you should do is obviously either have a product or a service. The next thing you should do is sell that product and your that service. And the third thing you should do, which is the most important, I believe, to have more and more customers, is gather certifications or testimonials, or reviews of your product or services, so that you can use it as user generated content, and you can build a whole amount of rapport and trust with your audience through that. And because at this, like, no matter how much we make and grow our personal brand, all people trust is other people. So if I'm just nobody on Instagram and I'm start selling stuff, and even if I get one or two customers, but I don't show off the testimonials or tell how take make the people who bought my product give reviews about it. So people or my future customers in no way would have no way to identify the credibility of my course or my product or my service. And on the other hand, if there is my friend who is a freelancer who got 5 clients, for example, in the first 5 months of him learning, even learning the skill, and he starts giving providing his services to those clients, and also asks for testimonials after he has delivered his service or product they asked for, and he posts those testimonials on his personal brand in a very creative and innovative way. What that would do is that my friend now would have 5 people literally advocating for him that, buy from this guy. This guy changed my life. This guy taught me this XYZ. It helped me XYZ because, in the next 3 to 5 months, if the people you taught, if you're selling a course or if you're selling a course, yeah. So the people you taught, if they start earning $1,000 a month, so you can literally use their success in order to market your course in a better way. So which means that you're gonna keep having retaining customers, because if someone bought a course of $200 from me and they started earning 1,000 or $2,000 3 to 4 months after executing all of the advice I had to give, they would probably come back to me for more, you know. And that's the exact moment where I should also have something, ready to give to them. So these testimonials and the recommendations and certifications really help you, build trust and rapport with the audience, because no matter how much the screen tells you to buy something, you are a human, and humans trust other humans only, and not some AI or robot. Some tools I identified you can use for building your personal brand is, initially you need design. You need a personal for a personal brand. You need a personal brand key theme. You have to have a theme. You have to have a font. You have to have a brand kit. And honestly speaking, the best way you can do that is start using Canva. Literally learn it through YouTube. It's the most simple, the most efficient way to start making content on Instagram, carousel posts and this and that. And just master Canva, and you could probably even freelance as a graphic designer who has an expertise in Canva. So other than design, what other social media tools you can use to integrate other social media platforms as well, like Twitter, WhatsApp channels, and Instagram, or Facebook? You can use Buffer, Hootsuite, Social Bee, which help you retain your customers and serve as a customer uh, CRM, yeah, customer relationship management. They help you do that as well. And you can also use ManyChat for automation, where if someone comments on your post, so they directly get a DM of whatever you're offering as a return of them commenting on your post. Like for example, if I am and honestly, the more the comments you have, it also boosts the algorithm for you. Using tools like ManyChat would only increase the chances of your post going viral. And if it happens, then you will have some freebie to give out to, right? You should have one. What I mean by a freebie is a piece of document that can in any way be related to your skill or your personal brand, and you are basically what? You're basically teaching them on how to do XYZ. For example, if I have a personal brand around public speaking, so I would make a carousel post, and in the final slide, I would include that if you want to learn how to ace in MUNs and become a very efficient and an eloquent and confident public speaking expert, these I have made a document for you, and comment down the word debate, in order to learn, in order to get it in your DM. And then I would attach a link to my Google Drive link or something in the DM, and that it would automatically go into their DMs. And this way you can get more and more comments on your profile, on your post, and which would help boost the algorithm. Other content platforms include Medium for articles, YouTube for video, and Substack for newsletters. So this is about the conclusion of the session. If you have any questions, you can ask in the WhatsApp group that you had joined for. Thank you for staying this far. Don't forget to subscribe and like to the Skill Hive YouTube channel, and we'll see you in the next workshop. Thank you so much.